Hello and welcome to Economics Unit 1. Today we're going to be talking about capitalism. Now, capitalism is also known as the market economy, same one we've talked about before, and it's also known as free enterprise. The reason why it's called free enterprise is because enterprise, which you can think of as another word for businesses and companies, are free from government control. And the idea here is that people are motivated best. They do their best, not when the government tells them what to do and how to do it, but when they have what's known as profit incentive. And that is that people have a desire to make money, and that's what makes them produce and sell goods and services. That's what's going to make them get creative and try to produce the most they possibly can, is because they know they're going to benefit themselves directly. Now, the goals of free enterprise are three. One is economic freedom. Economic freedom is when individuals make all decisions for how they spend their time, what, how, and when they sell. Now, you could also choose to abuse your freedom and do nothing. That's the whole point of freedom. You can choose what to do or not to do without government involvement. The next goal of free enterprise is economic stability. That's trying to avoid massive shifts, massive changes in the economy, massive swings up or down. Now, of course, the goal is to avoid drops. Drops in the economy, people losing jobs, all that stuff is really, really bad. But it's also to avoid really fast and sudden upswings, because if the economy and the market and everything goes well, that's a good thing unless it shoots up out of nowhere. Well, that usually means a crash is coming, and when that crash hits, it's going to be way worse than the upswing. And so we kind of want to avoid swings up or down, and that's known as economic stability. And finally, economic growth, allowing the economy to grow and expand at a natural pace, decided by the decisions of buyers and sellers, and not the government trying to force it in one direction or another. So those are the three goals of free enterprise. And now there's a lot of different opinions out there on the best way to maintain a free enterprise economy. Some people are really extreme, and they believe in what's known as laissez-faire. That's a French term. It means hands-off, in which it is an economic system where the government minimizes its interference with the economy. And minimizes is kind of an understatement. It's when the government just doesn't involve with the economy at all. They're just focused on other things like national defense or taxes and stuff like that. But they have no economic policy as far as regulating what businesses can and cannot do at all. Not even a little bit. That's laissez-faire. Now, one of the most famous supporters of free enterprise is a man called John Stuart Mill. John Stuart Mill wrote a book called On Liberty, which defended personal freedom and individuality. Now, John Stuart Mill, he was the oldest of a large family. He had a lot of brothers and sisters, and he was absolutely the golden boy. His parents absolutely lavished him with education and music lessons and everything. They just were trying to raise this little super kid so that he could then take over the parenting duties for all the rest of his brothers and sisters. So definitely his younger brothers and sisters might have looked at him as being someone that was treated way better than the rest of them, but that's because his parents wanted him to take over their job. And he did. And while doing that, that's where he cultivated these ideas that freedom and individual accomplishment happen through self-improvement. If people are successful, it's because they work hard at it and they make themselves better. And the government's role is to basically just get out of the way. With a couple exceptions. He does believe that the role of government in free enterprise system should be a limited role, but that they should make sure everything is done fair and honestly. So if you fail because you're just making bad decisions, that's fair. He doesn't think the government should help you out if you're making bad decisions, if you took a gamble and it didn't work out. But he does think that the government should not allow anyone to lie to you about what they're trying to sell or what their product does. People's freedom to succeed and fail must be entirely based on their own ability, not based on trickery and deceit. So when government does get involved, he believed that there's two principles that government can have some control over. And one is maintaining economic equity, the attempt to balance an economic policy so that everyone benefits fairly. This doesn't mean everybody's equal. This is not a command economy where nobody's rich, nobody's poor, everyone's the same. You will have rich, poor, middle class, and all kinds of other exceptions and examples to that. But it's fair. Because the reason why in his society, in his idea of society, someone is poor is because they just aren't making the right decisions to not become poor. And the people who are rich because they deserve it. That's what his belief was. And that the government should make sure that whatever station you're in, it's because of you and not because of anything else that's beyond your ability. He also believed that the government should have some influence over the idea of economic efficiency, which is the wise use of resources so as to obtain the greatest benefits possible. Because the government is going to have some control of resources, like even if it's just people, like military, and making sure that they're being used intelligently and not wastefully. Also making sure that citizens who are using resources that will benefit themselves but also impact the rest of the country, that they're also not being wasteful, so that everybody has their maximum potential to take advantage of the resources that are available to them and find their own success. And that's it on the free enterprise system. If you have any questions, let me know in class. Thank you.